I mix you again.
Welcome. Can comparison be good or bad? I phrased that really badly, so let me start again. Hey, so is comparison good or bad? And we're looking at it especially when it comes to health, fitness, and well-being. So comparison can be a strong motivator and a really positive thing, but it can also be a massive drain of energy and really take a lot of your time and energy up that you could be spending on yourself. So here are some examples of comparisons that I hear and see. I often see people comparing their fitness tracker with their friends. Maybe they're more active than their friends, but their friend has burnt more calories than them. Maybe you're on social media and you have a friend who trains way more than you. Maybe you follow influencers on Instagram and they have a flatter stomach than you. Someone else's life seems easier, better, richer than yours. All these things are common things that we all experience at times. Now, there's a psychotherapist who works with Olympians called Sarah Gilman, and she said social comparison is normal to an extent. So, for some people, they see someone else as aspirational and motivational, and it gives them a direction for their own journey, whether it be in life, health, fitness, well-being. So they're like, oh my God, I want to be like them. I am going to follow what they do or work hard to achieve what they have. That can be seen as positive to a point, but here's when comparison is not so positive. So when we focus on others and that makes us question who we are and focus on what we're not when we're focusing on what they are or have. That can be negative because we're comparing ourselves and going, I'm not this, I'm not that, and get down on ourselves and in a negative mindset and in a negative cycle. It can be a distraction. So whilst you're spending your whole time scrolling on social media, someone's feed, being like, oh my God, they've got this, they've done this, look at their body, looking at all their photos. It's a distraction, but you could actually be using that time to focus on yourself and self-improvement. Sometimes we can become jealous and envious, and that can affect our relationships with people, especially if it's someone we know. We're envious of their life or the time they spend on their fitness, or that they are a better cook than us, so they eat more nourishing food. So we can see how comparison can be super demotivating, and I see more of this on social media than people seeing comparison as a motivator. I often see people getting down on themselves because someone else is doing more than they are. And guess what? There's always going to be someone better than you, but there's always going to be someone worse off than you. That is just life. We can't let that take over and take away from what we're doing and our experience, I think. So nowadays, social media, the fitness industry, society tell us what we're supposed to strive for. They tell us how to measure our progress and our successes and what to aim for. And often that might be unrealistic and unreasonable. We aren't one size fits all. We are all different with different skills, goals, lifestyles. So I want to ask you the question, are we comparing like for like? Often we're not. So here's an example. We see Zac Efron. Yes, we do. Zac Efron, we see you. And he gets super ripped and buff for a film role. He can do it in 2 months. And he can look stunning. Amazing. Peak fitness. So is it reasonable for you and me to expect to achieve the same in 2 months? No. Here's why. Zac Efron is paid to get in shape for his role. It's part of the role. He gets paid to do that. He doesn't have to have a day job and look after the kids probably. So I don't. Has Zac Efron got kids? I don't know. Has he come out? Here's hoping. Also, all these celebrities tend to have to do as their job is to train and get in shape for the film for those 2 months. And finally, they're going to have a nutritionist who tells the chef what to cook for them. And they tell them when to eat, what to eat. They have a personal trainer with them the whole time. they're not there to train on their own. So they get so much more outside support. They're not just doing it alone and holding down a job and got the same stresses as probably our lives. Their lives are very different, so we aren't comparing like for like. I'm sure if you had a personal chef, nutritionist telling you what to eat, when to eat, preparing it, putting it on a plate for you, we'd all eat a little bit better. I love cooking, but I would eat better if someone else was cooking it for me, because I wouldn't have to think about it. And it'd be balanced for what my body needs for my goal by an expert. So let's not forget, social media is a highlights reel, and we're always looking at stuff through the person's filter. We all curate what we put out into the world. We all do. We filter what we say to people. We filter what we put on social media. Some people need to filter a bit more. Oh, meow, catty. No, sorry. That's not what this conversation is. But you know what I mean. So maybe it's time for you to go through your social media and look at, is this actually bringing helpful, motivating energy into my life, or is it making me feel worse about myself? On Facebook, you can snooze people. On Instagram, you can always unfollow people. So I'm just saying, is it helping you? Think about that. So how can we start and use self-comparison as a positive tool? And why is it positive? So self-comparison, looking at yourself today versus yesterday, it focuses on your own progress, on your own achievements, not those of others, because no one else is walking in your shoes with your biology, with your life experience, with your environment. And next, I want you to reframe how you monitor your progress, because progress for you might be doing more steps than last week. That might be an amazing behavioral win for you. You're getting to the pattern of moving more. Maybe it's that 2 months ago, you wouldn't step inside a gym, but now you go twice a week. Maybe it's that a month ago, you were doing bodyweight squats, but now you're doing it with 2 kilo hand weights. That's amazing. That's an achievement for you. So you are bettering yourself. It is self-improvement. Maybe you've been training yourself into the ground and you realize that you need a rest. That's self-improvement, because you're recognizing the signs that you need to rest. So what I want you to focus on when we're talking about comparison and self-comparison is you're striving for self-improvement, making you and your life better. It doesn't matter what someone else's life is like. It matters what your life and your experience is. Okay, so I know I'm not going to be Zac Efron, so I'm not going to compare my life to Zac Efron's. I'm not that big a Zac Efron fan, but I'm talking a lot about him today. So, how do we change? How do we stop going from this doom scrolling, going through social media, listening to everyone else's lives and feeling envious? And how do we kind of change the thought pattern? Well, number one, we need to notice when we are comparing ourselves. So we need to be more self-aware. Next, once we've recognized that, we need to try and change our inner monologues, our inner thoughts from they're doing that better than me, I'm not doing enough, to actually focusing your mind on, well, what am I doing? What are my goals? What are my goals? Your personal goals. Not what are their goals, not what are they achieving, what am I doing? We see it on Strictly Come Dancing, you know. One person's progress is going to be different because they've all started at different places of ability. You can't compare like for like, and life tries to. Next, you might find yourself getting anxious, so breathing exercises may help when you're getting in this like spiral of comparison, comparing yourself with other people. Also, visualization we've spoken about before, really powerful. Visualize yourself improving, getting better, getting where you want to get to. And finally, when you are becoming aware of yourself comparing, notice whether it's positive or negative. Is it encouraging you and driving you in a positive way, or is it actually making you feel bad about yourself? These are super simple things that we can start to action today. Maybe go away after this, go through social media being like, that person doesn't make me feel good about myself. Why are we still following them then? Let's stop following people like that. So finally, the question you always should be asking is, am I comparing like for like? Or are you comparing oranges to lemons? Or here's a new one. Are you comparing Matt to Zac Efron? We're very different. We're not like for like. So I hope this has spoken to you. I hope this has made sense. And yeah, please let me know your thoughts and comments below. I love to come in and read what you have to say. And yeah, stop being so hard on yourself, okay? Be kind to yourself. And always remember, if you wouldn't say it to someone else, don't say it to yourself. Can I get an amen, people? Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Thank you for joining me today. And I hope to see you again soon at another Team Talk.
I make see again.